Hey, so I'm gonna try another episode of Ship It Anyway. That's where I write, record, and send out an imperfect song to a friend in a few hours. And after the last episode, I had a lot of really interesting conversations with people. A lot of people are thinking about writing songs just in their house or studio or wherever, or just to write, and not with any expectation that it's going to be some huge project. And that's the point, is you can do this. It doesn't have to be a huge project. It can just be something fun that you can just do. And one of the things that I talked about with a lot of people is their own setup, because everybody has a different kind of setup and different set of musical instruments and everything else. But it doesn't have to be like one format. It can be whatever you've got. And I was talking with my sister about this. She leads worship in Faith Mountain with a bass, and so she says, so if I were to record at home, it would just be me, a bass, and my broken keyboard. And I went, that would be fun. That would be interesting. So I'm actually going to try that today. No guitars, just a bass, vocals, and MIDI keys. And to add another complexity to it, she doesn't have Logic, but if your computer or tablet has Fruit on it, then you can get GarageBand for free, and GarageBand is a phenomenal tool. I haven't used it in a long time. I have intentionally not brushed up on it so that you can watch me kind of struggle through it, which will be fun. But yeah, that's the plan today. I'm going to try and do one song quickly as possible, but using GarageBand and just a bass and keys. Now, the tablet one, because it's a touchscreen, has a really cool intuitive keys setting. So even if you don't have a MIDI keyboard, the GarageBand tablet thing actually does some stuff that the Logic won't do. But the deal is, you can export GarageBand projects from the iPad to the computer, but you cannot do it the other way around. So if you're planning on using the touchscreen keys, then you have to do those first and then export them to GarageBand on the computer. Okay, so I will open GarageBand here on the iPad with a bunch of ancient projects that I haven't seen in a long time. Okay. And yeah, let's start with the Smart Piano, and you get, obviously it defaults to C, which probably just hang out there. That will help us in the future anyway. And we have 1, 5, 4, 2, 6. Yeah, we got all the you can edit these, by the way. If you don't think you're probably gonna use that 7 diminished, I will keep the flat 7 because you know me. I'm a sucker for a flat 7. But you can edit this somehow. Let me see. There's the tempo. Good. We'll want to change that. There's the key scene. Edit chords. There it is. So I think instead of this B diminished, I don't know. Let's do a sharp 5. Major 7th, maybe? I think that might be fun. All right. But other than that, something like that. Okay. Okay, so as usual, I'm not going to make you watch the entire process. But I really did think this was a fun way to start, because with the little chord thing, you can just throw a chord in and see what happens. just throw an add 9 in there, and if it doesn't work, just change it. It's a really neat setup to just start a song with. Let's see if we're doing it this time. I do like that tempo. So again, like the last time, I'm not going to quantize anything. You can change the sensitivity in the MIDI. You can tweak it to death, but the point of this series is to try and get us used to the idea that just whatever comes out, comes out. It's just music. It's supposed to be fun. All right, I think I'm going to call it good. I think I'm just going to use those 2 sections too. There's, of course, an autoplay. If you wanted to play around with that, you could record, You might come up with some cool stuff doing that. And obviously, there are lots of cool stuff you can throw in there. Ooh, a clav. I'm a sucker for a clav. Let's turn the autoplay off. Oh my goodness, I love that so much. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't planned on the clav, but once I heard it, I knew I had to use it. And it's fun because that's the sort of stuff that as long as you keep things loose like this, then stuff like that can affect how the rest of the song happens. Because I think once that was in there, I think the whole thing ended up being, just a little bit funkier and a little bit, I don't know, I think I left a lot more space in it than I would have if I hadn't had it. Beauty. Okay. I think I'm just going to export it like that. Okay. All right, so this is where I exported the project to the MacBook and then opened it in GarageBand on the MacBook. I had to download GarageBand on the MacBook, actually, because I had never used it on this computer. And I was very pleasantly surprised. GarageBand it's a phenomenal tool, and it's free if you have Apple products. Logic, I think nowadays is about $200, and you can get student discounts and things, and so ultimately it's better, but free. GarageBand is free, and it's honestly, if you're just looking to start out and you have a MacBook, then just do it. There's no reason not to. Now, one of the advantages I have of doing a challenge with just the equipment of my sister is that I have not only a bass that is like hers, I have her bass with me. So, yeah, Jess, if you're watching this, you're not getting that bass back. It's lighter than mine, though. I had forgotten how light it was. It takes me, as you can see on the little screen there, it takes me a couple of tries to write something that sounds good, but I think I only played around with it for maybe 5 minutes or something, and then once I finally got a full take all the way through, I think I did 3 takes like I did on the last project. 3 seems to be about the right number for me, but as I said last time, it's not a hard and fast rule. It's just whatever you need to be able to make music as freely and quickly as possible. Has come the time for lyrics, and I have not had time to even sit down and practice doing that or improve whatsoever. So I have no reason to believe why this will be any faster or easier than the last time. This was the hardest thing for me last time. So let's see what happens. It was definitely easier, but not by much. But, it's not something I expect I'll get better at overnight. It's just something I'm going to have to keep working at. And the lyrics of this song actually ended up being about the difficulty that that I have expressing myself in this medium, because I think that's what's funny is I don't have a hard time, I think, just talking one-on-one with people. Just I'm not used to looking objectively at what's in my mind and taking it out. You saw me with a guitar there. There's no guitar on the final track. I just use a guitar as a way of finding like melodies and harmonies and things. Okay, so if you have a keyboard that you don't particularly like the sound of and it has a USB out, I know Logic at least is pretty good about just grabbing whatever MIDI controller you plug in. So if it has a USB out, just plug it in and let's come up with some kind of cool MIDI software instrument. Yeah, there it is. All right. So I don't know anything about these tones. I just clicked on presets until something sounded cool. And I mentioned in the last one that I'm not the world's greatest keyboardist, especially with leads and stuff, but that's one of the reasons I wanted to keep it in C, because if it's in C, even if you don't know anything about keyboard leads or anything, just put it in C and play around on the white keys until something sounds cool. Genuinely, that's all I did. But I thought I was having a lot of fun doing it, actually. I thought it was really fun little lead to do. All right, I think that is just about it. I don't know that I'm going to need to record anything else. Anyway, I'm going to, again, give it a super quick mix. I'm not going to do anything special to it. EQ, maybe a little compression on some stuff. Probably add in this sort of song, I'll probably add some extra reverb and stuff, but mostly I'll leave it like that and send it. So, as always, remember, this is not an audition.
If you never see it coming, then you'll never know it's gone. It's just a couple chuckles and a good time. It's a groove that's made to move without a hidden agenda. You know me, I wouldn't waste your time, and I'm not trying to